Hi, readers. You've already heard that the scientists who study reading announced that the books you are reading often contain inventive, playful language. And we saw this was true in our book, Owl Moon. And as skilled readers, many of you didn't just read, going through the motion, page after page without pause. Instead, you slowed down, you noticed the special way the authors used language in your books, and you thought, what does the author want me to see and feel? And as a result, you were able to read with even more insight. So, today, what I want to teach you is that when authors describe something by suggesting it is like something else, something completely different, the author is expecting readers to bring those two different things together by thinking how they are alike. And this creates a brand new, made for the moment meaning. So let's try this work out using a familiar part from our story, Come On Rain. So, in this part of the story, the author doesn't just say it's a hot day. Instead, she uses a special kind of language, comparative language. She talks about the heat. She mentions a broiling alleyway and a girl sizzling like a hot potato. What is she comparing the hot day to? Huh, what special meaning does the author want us to get? Hmm, let's pause and think for a moment. What are the two things she's comparing? Is it the potato and a summer day? Well, that's kind of odd. No, I think if I look here first, I think she's comparing the girl to a potato. And that comparison is stretched out onto this part. And the alley is compared to, or when the alley is broiling. So, I wonder what are the things the author is bringing together? This feels tricky because this is tricky. I think the author is bringing together a summer day and cooking, specifically cooking in a broiler. Could she be saying that the day was so hot, it was as if the little girl was living in an oven when it's turned on to broiler? The girl is really hot outside, just like a potato in an oven. What do you think, readers? What an image! So we know authors use special language for a reason. And so we have to ask, what special meaning does the author want me to get? When you compare two things, we try to understand the special meaning by thinking, how are those two things alike? The author here didn't just say the summer day was like an oven. She used words that led the reader, us, to create a very vivid picture in our minds. And that image helped us to feel what it must have felt like to be there. It's not easy, but it's worth it because it helps to bring the scenes of the story to life. Because I bet some of you were thinking of a time where you experienced the heat of an oven when you were maybe helping someone at home cook. And you could probably compare it to a day where you felt really hot outside too. So let's see if we can find another place where the author uses comparative language. But this time, it's your turn to figure out what the author wants the reader to get when they use comparative language. And we're going to use one of my favorite stories, Fishing in the Air by Sharon Creech. And just as a little kind of background information, this is a story about a little boy and his father who go fishing. So let's look on this page. Follow along as I read it to you. We slipped into the car and closed the doors quietly, and off we went. Look at those street lamps, my father said, glowing like tiny moons all in a row. Hmm. Let's think. Readers, what might the author be trying to compare here? What two things is she bringing together? What do you think? Are you thinking that she's trying to bring together street lamps and moons? Well, what do we know about these two things? Maybe you're thinking we see both of them at nighttime. Maybe you're thinking that they're both able to help us see. They provide light when it's dark. I want you to think, what does the author want us to feel, experience here? Maybe some of you are thinking that the author wants us to think that it was super bright out and these lamps helped to light the way. And that because there was this light, the father and son were able to get to their destination. Maybe you were thinking it was really bright. Or maybe that there seemed to be some magic in the air. Hmm. Readers, before you go off today to begin your own reading, I want you to think of all the work you've done in this unit so far to grow as readers. Can you go ahead and think about all of the work you've done by counting them across your fingers? Can you add to that list that we know that authors use special language in fun and inventive ways, and that sometimes they use comparative language to compare two things that may not seem at first to go together, but they use it to get us to feel or think or visualize the scenes of the story. Your books may or may not have comparative language in them today, but I encourage you as you're reading those books to be on the lookout for them. And remember, when you see them, stop and think, what meaning is the author trying to get me to see here? Good luck, readers. Have fun.